to the JKA Massey instructor course. So today we're going to the new section. First section we've already completed was Kihon, and now we're going to go into the KUMITE section. So I'm going to go through some basic terms for KUMITE. I'll put this one at the top here, so you can keep that as a reference. Now, just to start with, we already explained this in a previous one, but just because this is a new section, I want to explain it in a new time. So, kumi means a set of things. So we can say very simply a set of something, and te obviously means hand. So what we've got is a set of techniques using the hand. Now that's obviously been extended to include the feet, legs and so forth, but the basic idea was set up a set of things or techniques for using your hands equals kumite. So we'll leave that one up there as a reference point. And well, first of all, I guess what we should say is that there are two origins to karate. One of them is the long origin, the traditional origin, let's say, which is Budo, and that comes all the way back from Bushido, samurai, and the various things that the samurais were involved in for their training. And then we've got modern, everyday training that we do for different reasons. They could be for competition, just sparring in the dojo, or maybe even for self-defense, possibly even for actual training for soldiers, policemen and so forth. So all these categories come under KUMITE, and over the next lecture, or probably 2 or 3 lectures, we'll go over the various different sections and give some explanations for each one. So first of all, I'd like to take up the idea of the traditional one, as I was saying before. And in order to do that, we have to go back to the roots of the samurai. Now this phrase here, iken, is, and hisatsu, yeah. Okay, so this is iken. A ken in this kanji is a sword, and hisatsu actually means to kill. Certain death. So that goes back to samurai times, obviously, with the sword. And the idea of training with the sword was to make a perfect kill in one strike. So it means one, and ken means sword, and hisatsu means strike or certain kill, to kill someone with one strike. Now, of course, we're not looking at karate in that sense as to be someone that we're going to come and give one punch or one kick and certainly kill them. That wouldn't be the idea of training today. However, we do have this concept in karate of making a very decisive technique, which of course would be our kumite concept. So we hit one perfect shot in karate and we get ippon in a competition. We consider that would be the same as or equivalent to a strike with the sword. So this is how we look at it now. So what the famous masters say, such as Nakayama Sensei and various others, is that the Bushido idea of karate should always be the underlying principle, because there are many strong and virtuous principles that have been generated by Bushido over many hundreds of years, and we are hoping that karateka will emulate those particular traits as they go through their own training. And we can say that Bushido was very much influenced by Zen. But most of you, I'm not going to go into it trying to explain Zen in this particular lecture, but what we can say is that Zen and karate are almost inseparable in the sense of Bushido. So there is a phrase here, and this one says ken, which is a kanji that can also be used for a fist as well as a sword. So they actually sound the same. So Funakoshi Sensei kind of switched over a couple of words from here and there. One of them was ken, and he used ken as a fist to represent karate. So ken equals karate, or the use of the fist, which is kumite. The idea of that was so that you could get the idea that ken equals fist equals karate, same concept. And then zen, as I just wrote up there, which is this kanji, and ichi is over here. Now there's a lot of kanjis today, so I've deliberately printed these kanjis out ahead of time to save time and me trying to write them. So zen is zen, it's the Buddhist principle of zen philosophy, and ichi, so this is, well, okay, same meaning, and then ichi means a union, or a coming together, so two causes, if you like, come together as one. So karate and zen come together as one, and then we get ken, zen, ichi. So this is a traditional martial art concept of karate coming through from our roots on Bushido. So that's the first idea of kumite. Kumite comes from the fighting Bushido sense, trying to make one decisive hit. In the old days with the sword it would be certainly decisive because you would be dead, and in the current with the fist it would be one decisive technique, which is a score, or certainly something that was very effective. So those are the basic principles there, and we'll just flip those over. And so if we go into the different concepts, as I just wrote up there, the first concept could be traditional. And that goes back to our roots of Bushido and Zen, and what we now call martial art. Martial because it comes back from Buddha or Bushido. So that's, let's call that one. Now, the second possibility, because that's our current dojo training tends to reflect these principles and the traditional idea of training. The second way, which of course we've seen in many other guises, is let's say self-defense. That could be the first definition there. And competitive type of sparring, such as MMA and the various other wrestling and all sorts of other things that come into other forms of kumite, which are kind of similar to or based on martial arts, karate, judo, aikido, and various other things. So we've got two, let's call it two splits. You might be training in karate because of the traditional method and the Bushido and the things that I just mentioned, or you could be training or possibly come into training for this first idea, which is for self-defense training. Now this training is called Jisen, which is up here. This is Jisen here. Ji just means real or true, and sen, well, actually means fight, so we can say true or real and fight. Ji, sen, true, real, and fight. So this is a real battle in the real world, outside your door for another reason, not in the dojo. Could be self-defense, could be because you're competing in MMA. Hey, could be because you're a door worker for being a bouncer, a soldier, a policeman. There could be many other reasons why you're doing self-defense. So that would be a secondary look at. We've got traditional is one, fighting, and secondarily self-defense, or actually even a soldier, of course, could be killing someone, so that's also, I'm not sure if that's self-defense, but it's certainly defense. So we have here a few words relative to this, and I'd just very briefly like to put these on the board so that we can see how they fit. So I'll just put that one up there, and this one here. Okay, now I'm not going to go into these in any great detail, but just to mention, this one is the Jisen one I just said, so that's actual fighting. This one is actually called Goshin, and Goshin is directly meaning self-defense. That's the Japanese word for self-defense, to safeguard yourself or your person. So Go is basically safeguard and this person. Now obviously whatever you do, you need technique to do it, so this word here is jutsu, which obviously we know from various other jutsus, including gijutsu, our own technique for our own karate movements, jujitsu. There's lots of jutsus, okay? Jitsu or jutsu, basically the same. So they're all techniques that you can use either in karate or self-defense. And of course you could have, this one means unarmed combat or attack. So that's a toshu. Shu means hand, so empty hand, really pretty much the same, or unarmed combat equals toshu. And the last one's down here. This one would be an armed attack, so if somebody came at you in society with a gun or a sword or a knife or whatever other instrument, then this would be called, this one would be called buki. Just to put that one up there, that's toshu. So buki means pretty much the same as this one, only somebody's got some implement in their hand. So this is almost like you could say a military situation, as if a person comes with a gun or something. And the last kanji here, this one is korosu. And that one actually means to kill someone. Korosu is kill. So we've got that basic principle there that these all are self-defense techniques, well, maybe apart from the last one, which could be perhaps used for a soldier or somebody in the forces who's actually needing to kill someone. But they could use karate type moves in order to do that. They'd all be under the heading of KUMITE. So that's the first introduction to this. This gives you an idea about traditional practice as we're doing in the dojo, and then this is perhaps a traditional practice put into real life situations. So I'm going to end off there just to give you something to think about for that one, and then we'll go into some more technical details in a short while. So that's the end of this particular lecture. Us!